You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place we're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, it's a lovely Thursday. Supposed to be a very exciting evening weather-wise, so if you've got nothing to do tonight while the storm is raging around you, you can always check out Mr. Allard's Neighborhood on podcast. It'd be very comforting or something
Very
like
nice.
that. Yeah, you think so? Okay.
Yeah.
We have Jessica Pounds here from the Burleson Area Chamber of Commerce.
Hey.
Gabrina's doing what today? In Alvarado, I believe. Right?
Yeah, she's a guest speaker at the Alvarado Chamber Luncheon today.
Yeah. Well, so that's what she tossed me over for? I mean, really. Well, it's free lunch. I can understand that.
I'm excited to be here, though.
Doesn't everybody in town give you a free lunch?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, anyway, Jessica is head of communications and about everything else, actually, because basically it's like duties as otherwise assigned.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, but we're going to talk about what happened last Saturday with the Business Expo. We're going to talk about what's coming up, and I was at the Business Expo, and it was really, really. It was a great event, very successful.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
And I credit y'all for putting it together. I know that there's a lot more work to it than just setting up a few tables. And so it was very productive for not just my networking group, the BNI group, but for me personally and for a lot of people I know. They were very complimentary as they were, going through the whole process.
Yeah. Thank you for coming out.
No problem. And as far as like any suggestions, just for the listener, next time that you have one, be there. Even if you don't have a business, you need to be there just because you could see what's going on. We had a lot of people that were visiting or going through the various tables that were just, they weren't business owners. They were Burleson people, and they brought their kids with them. And fortunately, we had a lot of candy, so that helped a bunch.
Yeah, we gave our participants that came through a bag, and when they went to all the tables and got all the swag from the businesses, and they were coming out with their bags stuffed full. So a lot of free goodies were given out.
Mm-hmm. And I had a lot of free goodies too. I had. Oops, I got the sound on again. I've been doing this for almost 3.5 years. I still leave the sound on. I had several bags, and there were a lot of people that give away tote bags. So I got some of those. You never could have too many tote bags.
Yeah.
And there's lots of free samples of what they served, or also they had a lot of raffles, and I won one of them from the bank.
Yes, you did.
Sierra Bank had one, and I had no, it's Summit Bank. I'm sorry, not Sierra Bank. It was Summit Bank. Sorry, Summit Bank. Anyway, and it had like a little rose plant. My wife really liked it, so.
Nice.
Yeah. But anyway, before we jump into all of this, I'm going to try to, after I hopefully get through all this routine with the Facebook here, we're going to talk about all of this. We're going to talk about also a couple of events coming up for Burleson area nonprofits. So let's start with the paid subscribers, shall we say. Thank you, Daniel, at CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. It's a great workout. It's very, it's not a light workout just, for posers or anything like that, It's they mean business. But they have training, they have trainers, they have classes, they have programs and regimens that you can follow. So you're not going to be on your own. You're not going to have to figure it out on your own. So 317 Southwest Wilshire, go drop by and see if you can help get in shape. It's going to be spring and summer pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the bathing suit season, which I've been told, just skip that, Allard. So anyway, and also Shandy Stogsdill, the Stogsdill Realty Group. She's going to be very busy. Spring is a busy time. Spring and summer is a busy time for real estate because that's when a lot of people start trying to move or thinking about moving, and she knows where the houses are and what the rates are doing and how she can help you get into a house. She closed on a couple last week, and so she's pretty busy. Also, as you may know, she's running for school board, place 4, and she'll be on again on the 20th this month. So March is going to be very busy for the neighborhood, to say the least, because I may be the only person in Burleson that says this, but I like election season.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good for business. Anyway, thank you also to Otto, who's stuck in Las Vegas, which breaks my heart.
Oh.
He had to miss his flight or something like that. Our Place restaurant, everybody knows it, everybody loves it. He's also a chamber member, and he's very active in it, and it's a good place to do business. I like to do my BNI networking group there. when I'm meeting people or maybe potential sponsors. I'll meet them there because it's a comfortable atmosphere and the food is great and the service. I've always complimented Otto about the fact he has had a very consistent staff. And there's not a lot of turnover, and that tells me a lot about him and his business.
Yeah, it's great leadership.
Yeah, right. Also, we have Chris over at our place, Wild Cigar. I was reading that last night. Wild Cigar and Culture over on the Standard. He's opening and kind of readjusting his happy hours, 3 to 7, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's a great place to go. They're a member, aren't they, I believe?
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I thought so. Is your husband a cigar smoker?
No.
Well, you better be then. Take him over there. Well, it's a good place to go, ponder, have a drink, whatever.
Yeah, my dad is, and that's one of his incentives to move to Texas. It's like
Wild Cigar and Culture?
Yeah.
Well, I guess see there, Chris, if you're listening, you got real reach here, buddy.
Coming from Maryland.
Well, that's great. Just to have a cigar and a drink. All the way here, he's moving. Now, does he have Shandy as his real estate agent? Well, who knows? If he hasn't, then that's a good one to call.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wild Cigar and Culture has got a lot going on. It's a good place. I like going there. They have a conference room if you want to do business there. And so it's worth the time. Also, this week, the Local Life magazine came out with Tiffany Nico. It's a great direct advertising magazine. It's won awards even. And it's very effective. It goes to 30,000 homes plus. Now it's expanding its mailing list. Yeah. It grows a little bit and a little bit every month. And also, the number of people that see it, she says is 110,000. I'll bet it's more than that because I see it in business places like Otto's, like our place. And so people will pick it up and look through it and then maybe they'll put it back, but the advertiser got what they wanted, which was eyeballs on the page.
Right.
And so if you're looking to advertise in this area, you can't go wrong with Local Life or Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. I just threw that in there. Okay, thank you also to Southern Gym. They're open right now on the top floor of the Windmiller Building. They will be moving in about April 15th, Kayla tells me, is the target date. Depends on the usual delays with construction and supplies. And I think she was saying they were waiting on some chairs, just things like that. Enough to drive you crazy. But Southern Gym at Fine Jewelry, they do repairs, they do designs, they do appraisals, they do the whole thing. So go check it out. You had to take your husband up there and say that and that and that.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah.
Well, if you went by yourself, you can get a wish list. And so, like, if it's your birthday coming up,
right, yeah.
or, Mother's Day or whatever. Anniversary.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah. It's
one of those days.
Yeah. It's Tuesday afternoon. It's time to celebrate. He could go in there and there's your list and they'll help him with that.
Yeah.
Also, Hotworks over in 731, John Jones. It's a different type of workout, infrared workout. Really good for those that have joint pain, and it's good for inflammation issues. It increases the efficiency of the workout with the infrared system. It heats you up without getting you really hot and sweaty, so it's really a good workout, I've heard.
Yeah, that'd be good for people with fibromyalgia. Like that's what I have.
Well, and Michelle was on about 3 weeks ago with a lady from cryotherapy over, which I'm talking about is on get it right, Summercrest and Ellsbury.
Yeah.
And it's like they approach the same problem from different angles. And it was really interesting. And they're good friends. And they kind of refer patients to each other. Clients is a better term. But anyway, it's a really different type of workout for those that need, a workout that is effective but not, overly strenuous. Also, thank you to Melissa Harmon at Texas Farm Bureau at 682-804-0534. She's my insurance agent. She could be yours too. And if you just give her a holler, she'll check out your insurance, see if you're making any progress with it. If it's a good program, if it's a great plan, she'll tell you. If not, she'll help you save money or increase your coverage. I mean, she did that for me, and I got a little bit more coverage on the house and with actually a little less cost, and that my life insurance, which made me nervous. My wife is like, let's just bump it even higher. And like, yeah, okay. Also, we have coming up this Saturday the Athena Club. I met the Athena Club at your expo.
Yes.
Peggy Barnes runs that, and she is a well-known personality here in Burleson, so to speak. I mean, she was with BISD forever, and beloved teacher. This is interesting about Peggy. In the late fall or late summer, rather, of 1990, about 4 days before school started. She got a job as an administrator at the junior high at Hughes, right? And she taught something I really wanted to teach, but at the time I was teaching at Hughes. So I'll go to her. I had met her through some AP training and honors and tag and training and whatnot. I said, I want to teach your classes. She goes, great, let's go talk to the principal. And so we go talk with department head at the time, a woman named Nancy Klein. And Mr. Ford, the principal, is kind of like, well, okay, I'll get back to you. And they're like, no, you want this kid because he can teach all these different classes and he's in graduate school and blah, blah, blah. And another English teacher, department head who I'd met through another training said, no, you want this kid. So I go, oh, okay. So I got the job like Thursday night before school started. All right. So Monday morning, I come walking in, the kids come in, they're expecting to see her and go, oh, she's sick? Are you the sub? No, I'm your teacher. She's over at Hughes down there. Got real cold and frosty there for about the next 3 weeks. But they warmed up and treated me fine, but they were disappointed not to see her. But anyway, let me read what's going on at the Athena Club. The Athena Society of Burleson is a group of women business leaders in Burleson who are dedicated to making a difference in the lives of Johnson County and Burleson residents through care for cancer patients and educational opportunities. The Athena Society of Burleson assists Johnson County residents through various nonprofit organizations such as Texas Health Hughley Hospital Fort Worth, South Cancer Care Program, the Warren Place, and the Burleson Opportunity Fund, which I'm very excited about. I've been for years. It's a great fund.
Yeah, it is.
In 2020, we met our goal of donating over $1 million. Unfortunately, COVID-19 kept us from having annual Mardi Gras gala in 2021 and 22, but we're back in 23. So please join us on Saturday, March 11th. It's a week from Saturday, right? Okay, I get my calendar out. Yeah, a week from Saturday, March 11th, for our 18th annual Mardi Gras Gala. The event will be held at the Walnut Creek Country Club in Mansfield from 6:30 to 11 p.m. There will be live music by the Dolan Band, a station-style dinner, casino play, and a live auction featuring many special items. For sponsorship opportunities and tickets, for more information, please visit our website, athenasocietyofburleson.org. So I'll be talking about this next week as well because it's a great group, and if anything that Peggy Barnes is associated with, it's got to be good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it's like I mentioned, I met Peggy again, or this Athena Society, at your expo. Taylor, will you put that picture up from my group? This was my BNI group. There we are. And, okay, and from the left, besides myself, that's Greg Williams of Schooley Mitchell. He does. Looks at your business and they'll tell you where you can save money and things of that nature. And there's Tamara Kilgore, is a real estate agent. Bianca Lowry, who works with Center for ASD, which will be my guest next Monday. She's going to be on the show Monday. Lisa Smith of Stop Restoration. Gayla Moores from Jewelry, as we know. And Jeremy Bleeker from Edward Jones Financial Advisors. So, and we all had a table for BNI, and then all of us had tables right next to each other. So like a little group. And we met a lot of people and we have this big Visitors Day coming on March 29th, and I'll be talking more about that as the month goes on. And I don't know, they sounded interested, they didn't say, oh, I'm busy or I'm not interested. They sounded like they were, giving it every consideration. So that expo really, really was successful. And I did not know it was your first one.
Yes, this was our inaugural business expo. So we have 3 arms of the chamber: the ambassadors, diplomats, and the Power of Heels. This was an event that the ambassadors put on. They started planning this in the fall. We really didn't know how much interest there was going to be, but it turned out to be such a success. So we had over 80 vendors.
You didn't have them at the beginning, though. You were telling me before this show, it started out kind of slow, and you're starting to think, well, boy, we've got plenty of room.
It did. It started out a little bit slow, and then there in end of January, beginning of February, we just boom, 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 getting hit with vendors put in an application. And, I would say about 50% of them were members and, 50% were not members. And so we were really glad to get to mingle with other businesses. So we had probably between 300 to 500 people come through to visit with the businesses. But another great thing is that the businesses got to mingle with the other businesses that were
Right.
there. So
That was very, I met a lot of people that I may have seen their business, but I didn't know them personally. I was able to introduce them to my podcast, what it does for them, whatever else, and some had heard of it and some haven't. And so it was really very helpful for me personally. Now, as far as the logistics of it, though, it must have been pretty hairy though the week prior, I'd imagine.
The main part is figuring out the spaces for where everyone's going to go. And then we have some people that request to be by certain people. And then we don't want to put this bank next to this bank. We got to, space them out. So, but Terry Perez Turner, she handled that and she was a absolute rock star. She went the day before and measured out all the spaces, got everyone into their spaces the day of. So that mainly was the hardest part. But it was flawless.
And the thing about it is, you said 300 to 500 people went there just as visitors, not just the businesses. The people that go to these things go there with intent. I mean, they're not just casually walking by. They went there to find out what's going on in Burleson. These were more, let's say, they're serious customers, you might say. And some of them may be looking for something specific. Or they may just want to see what's going on in the town, but they're not there. They're not just window shopping solely. They're there with intent to be trying to find a business that they can, patronize. And so that's the value of that, I thought.
Yeah. One thing that we did, so we had vendor bingo.
Yes.
So when someone walked in, we gave them a card. And it had a list of all the vendors, and they were to go to each table and get their signature. Whoever had the most signatures won a grand prize.
What was that grand prize, by the way?
So it was $125 in gift cards to local businesses.
Oh, really?
So yes, and then a few other swag items.
Yeah, just some T-shirts and stuff like that, and cups, and everybody seemed to have some on the table. A lot of them had candy. I mean, which is one way, I guess, to bring the kids along and keep them pacified.
Right. But we got a lot of good feedback from the vendors that said, we really appreciate the vendor bingo because, like you said, some people might be going looking for a real estate or a bank or something. So they might walk past the table like, I don't need that, or I'm not just. So this gives them an incentive to go to the table, and then they're getting engagement. The businesses are talking to everyone and everyone's talking to the businesses versus, the limited communication otherwise. So, giving them that incentive to get their prize at the end worked really well for the businesses.
I saw several nonprofits there as well, but not just the Athena Society, but also like the Children's Advocacy Center.
Yes.
And, Bianca was there for Center for ASD, and it was, so it wasn't strictly just for profit businesses. And so this was a good way for them to let people know not just what they do, but they also have events coming up. I know the Advocacy Center has this cowboy related event in early May, I believe. And there's
Cowboys for Kids.
Yes. And ASD has one in late April that Bianca will be promoting. And so it was a good way to get the word out that way as well. And I thought it was great. I assume you'll do it again.
Well, we already have 12 vendors sign up for next year.
All a year, 12 months from now?
Yes.
Well, they're getting that.
So it's going to be February 24th, 2024.
You ever see this going to like twice a year?
That would be, that'd be great if we could do that. We don't want to fizzle anyone out but I think everyone loves a good expo. So
well, they do. And as far as, burning them out, whatever, entrepreneurs don't get burned out. Yeah, I mean, they really
That's
don't.
true.
Because you can't get burned out. They're always hustling.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But for now, once a year would be great. And I'm quite sure it'll be much bigger next year.
That's what we're hearing. Yeah.
And Pathway has a really nice venue for that kind of thing. I thought, I've been there for a wedding, and I went there for some other event, and I thought, man, this is really nice. It looks, but what I've been pressing on the city council candidates and members and the mayors, candidates and the mayor himself, about when they come in, we need a space like that for the city.
Yeah.
I
agree.
We need a space similar to what Cleburne has in that convention center. And we've been talking about that around the golf course and all this. And I'll save that for Tuesday because I have the mayor on then. And he was there, shaking hands and kissing babies or whatever they do. But we could use that for bigger events, because if your event got much bigger than that, we'd have been in the sanctuary. So,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But you got more than just the expo coming up. You also had this week, didn't you have the breakfast?
Really quick, I just wanted to mention. No, so that the expo was sponsored by the Express Employment Professionals of Johnson County, and they've already committed to being the title partner next year. So that just goes to show, there's a lot of interest going forward with that. Okay, so we had our first business over breakfast on Tuesday. We were supposed to have one in January, but of course we got iced out. The Diplomats hosted this event, and we partnered with the city of Burleson and Burleson ISD. We had about 60 in attendance. So
is that about the normal number, or is it better?
Well, this was our first one.
Okay.
So,
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Well, yeah, Gabrina's been talking about that, but I was thinking that you've had these before, but I guess the ice storm took that, right?
This was our first one, and we actually had about 80 people registered. So 60 that showed up at 7:30 in the morning. We had breakfast served by Burleson ISD culinary students.
How was the food?
It was so good. They made French toast with berries and whipped cream, scrambled eggs, and bacon. And they had their little buffet line, and they served it, and it was great. So every business over breakfast is going to be catered by them. So I'm sure it'll be different food every time. But they were very professional, very, followed, washed their hands, did this, did that. And
were they in uniform?
Yes, they were in their chef outfits. So,
well, that's really interesting because we had a culinary program at BHS before Centennial was built, but they didn't have the facility. They had the best they could, but they didn't have the professional kitchen until they built Centennial. Now that program's jumped up a bunch. But when they were over at BHS, the teachers often got fed. And it was good.
Yeah.
We were guinea pigs and whatnot. I remember one time, I was talking to the teacher and I said, well, I do a lot of cooking around the house. And she asked me to be like a guest speaker for one of their classes because they, see a man cooking. It's not unusual as a chef, but to see a teacher doing it is different.
Right.
And they had, the slanted mirror, and I'm showing them how to do this, that, and the other. I forget what I was making, but some sort of chicken dish. But it was fun. It really was. But they have I had Randy Woolsey on about 3 months ago, who runs a CTE program. It's amazing what they got going on. I'm glad the city takes advantage of that.
Yeah, it's incredible that they can start learning this in high school, and they're not just learning it, but they're out there serving and learning how to cater and planning events. They, right out of high school, they can go into this job and a career that they love. So it's just amazing. So we're gonna have them every time we have business over breakfast. Derek Rose with the city of Burleson, he gave a presentation on mental health. He's going to do that every time, and just a different aspect of it, how it's important to keep in check with your mental health, especially, in business. And we had a presentation from the game design school. We had some of the students get up and talk about what they do and how they can help the public. And that was really cool as well. We had coffee from Brewed Chaos Coffee, our company. I don't know if you've ever had them. They're like a mobile coffee.
No, I have not. If I have coffee other than Dwell, Taylor will hit the mute button.
Uh-oh.
So...
Well, they were great. And then each person in attendance got like a 30-second elevator pitch to get up with a microphone, say their name, their business, what they have going on. If you went over 30 seconds, go bring a ding dong with the bell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it was so great. It was like we had all these different little components of it, but all together it was just one great business over breakfast. So it's free for our members. You have to be a member of the chamber to be able to attend it, but it is free. We had it at the Brick, and next month, I believe we're going to have it out at Russell Farm Art Center.
Oh, that'd be nice. I
Yeah.
hope the weather's good for it. That barn they have out there. I've been to a wedding out there.
Yeah. We're going to try to go back and forth between the Brick and Russell Farm Art Center to give them kind of some exposure to people who might not have been out there before.
No, it's very nice. Just about every parent has had a kid through BSD or Holy Cross or whatever school they go to have, field trips there. I did that with my kids and whatnot. And anyway, it sounds like you got a lot going on, but March is going to be very busy. When's the next Tuesday night event?
So our next network at night is March 14th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. It's going to be at Tar Play Music, which is over there in like the Hobby Lobby shopping center.
You were telling me about it because it used to be where that party shop was.
Yeah.
Right next to Hobby Lobby. Last time you had it, wasn't it at Accents? Was it the one prior?
Yes.
How did that go?
Oh, we had so many people come out. So Accents is a local boutique over in Old Town. They had a giveaway of a Consuela bag, it was pretty expensive. And the girl that won it, she was just like, I can't believe I won this. I'm just so in shock that I won this. So we had about 30 to 40 people come out to that one. And it was on Valentine's Day. So, we weren't expecting a lot of people to come out because they might have dinner reservations or cooking at home, just doing whatever for Valentine's Day. But some of the gentlemen that attended bought some,
There you go.
little gift for their significant other. So that was great for them. But it was a great turnout. We love getting together, and that's a free event. You don't have to be a chamber member. Anybody can come out to that and learn about the business. And
But you have to be a chamber member to have networking.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to be a chamber member to host it.
Right.
Like Accents did and Tar Play Music this month. But anybody can come out to it and network.
Well, Gabrina says that y'all are booked up far in advance for these things.
We're completely booked for 2023, and we're already starting for 2024.
Good heavens. Well, it's very popular. And also, I have a friend that you're going to be doing a ribbon cutting for in late April. Mandy Harden over at Creative Concepts.
Yes, yes.
She's part of that B&I group, and she was telling us about it yesterday. So we're all going to make that, to support her and the chamber. So those are always nice.
Yeah, we have, I believe, through the second week of April, 2 ribbon cuttings a week.
2 a week, really?
Scheduled, yeah. At least one. I believe it's 2 already that we have.
Wow.
We have a lot of new members.
Well, shout them out.
I want to give a shout out to our new members. So far in 2023, we have Robert Half, and then we have the All-American Consulting Company, Torchy's Tacos.
Oh, that's Taylor's.
Yeah.
Have you been there yet?
Oh my gosh.
I thought
3
so.
times.
It's still good?
We went to their soft opening. They catered for us. They're catering our women's luncheon, which is next week. I'll go over that in a minute.
Okay.
They're so good.
Seems like if you join the chamber and go to the events, you're going to be pretty well fed.
Yeah. We have Darylaki Construction, 3B Roofing, which, if you were hit by the hail yesterday, we got 3B Roofing can help you out. Homes by Town, Wild Cigars,
Yeah.
iKids Pediatric Dentistry, Teague Painting, Burleson Health and Wellness, Get Connected LLC, Shops on Broadway, Julia Blair. She's an individual member. And then we have the Prairie Lands Groundwater Conservation District.
That's interesting.
So they, if I remember correctly, they, how to conserve groundwater, and they do a lot of.
It's a very necessary thing in Texas.
Yeah, they do a lot of. They go out and teach people about how to help with that. Excuse me. And then we have Lady and the Beast, which is a pet grooming service. Lady and the Beast.
I guess so.
Ace Handyman Services. They're not open yet. They're going to open, I believe, in April.
He was at the expo, I believe.
Yes.
I met him. Yes.
And they're a company of Ace hardware store. And so this is kind of like a niche thing that they have, handyman services. And then we have CEIS. They are, if you've driven on 35 through Alvarado, they have that new digital billboard out there. So if you want to advertise with them, you can contact them to go out on that digital billboard. We have Q&A Preschools, Walmart Neighborhood Market.
That's a big outfit.
Yeah, we're excited about that one. T to Go Burleson.
T to Go, not HTO.
Not HTO. HTO is a member,
right?
But this one is called T to Go, and it's going to be on John Jones. I think. Don't quote me on this, but I think like in the Home Depot area.
Okay.
And then we have RK Counseling LLC, Creative Concepts by Mandy, Mind Above Matter, Mixie Chicks Mobile Bar, Inspirity, Jen Martin LLC, and then as of this morning, Stop of Western Fort Worth. That's a restoration stores company.
I know. Yeah. Lisa Smith.
Yeah.
She's part of the B&O. She was in that picture.
Yeah. And then Teal's Donuts and Coffee, and they're here in Crowley.
Well, I know Lisa well, and she's a really, really great person. And as far as the Stop Restoration, they have a great reputation. I'm just giving them a shout out to my B&I family there. But that's great. She's actually been on the show. She and her husband. But anyway, yes, that's a lot of names. For just 2 months, it's a bunch, isn't it?
Yeah, just in 2 months, we have all of these new members, and so you can kind of see how we're getting booked up with our ribbon cuttings, and people want to do those network at nights, and they got to grab one of those quick because they fill up.
Can you do 2 a month?
2 network at nights? That's a good.
I'll put it.
Put it in the suggestion box.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Every other week or something like that. I bet it sounds like with this growth you're having, I bet you could.
That's something that we might have to do in the future. Where the chamber's growing, Burleson's growing, everyone's growing. So.
Oh yeah.
That's something that we can consider in the future.
I know Burleson's made it when it has a Torchies. And,
I know.
Yeah. And also that they have 2 custom tea shops. Back in the day, you got your tea at the Golden Corral, sweet or unsweet, and shut up.
Yeah, or just make it at home.
Well, Cabrina once on one of her meetings here brought HTO with him, and he gave me these 4 little pint-sized samples. My wife and daughter loved them, So.
Do you have a favorite flavor?
I like the blueberry. No, not the blueberry. Raspberry. Sorry, they like the blueberry.
Oh.
I like the raspberry flavored one.
So like my go-to any time of the year is the sweet mint. That's really good. But last month they had root beer flavor tea, and that was so good. It tasted like root beer barrel candy.
Well, I'm not a big root beer fan, but I'm sure it's great for what it's supposed to be.
Tea, yeah.
But it sounds like y'all are just going from one place to another at 100 miles an hour.
Right.
And it sounds like food and beverages are all part of the deal. Yeah, it sounds like it's just a Baptist Chamber of Commerce. I mean, because without food, you can't have it, right?
I know. Well, next week we have our women's luncheon. Our Power of Heels are hosting that. That's March 8th. It's going to be at First Baptist Church. Tickets for that are $30 for members and $35 for non-members. Registration closes on March 4th. So
on Sunday or Saturday, rather. Saturday.
Yeah. The guest speaker is Karen Johnson. She is with Dress for Success Dallas. So she's going to give. She's all about empowering women to achieve economic independence.
What kind of turnout did you get for the Power of Heels? Pretty good?
Yeah. So they host a couple events throughout the year, and they're doing this luncheon, Full Circle Women's Conference, the Holiday Bazaar, and also the Fashion Show Runway. And they're always well attended.
And well, there goes back to that. Well, we need a community space, because Pathway and First Baptist have become kind of substitutes for that.
Yeah, that's like goals. One of our goals. Yeah.
So you kind of push them along and just talk to the mayor and say, hey, how about it? But that'd be great to have. But it sounds like there's hardly a week that goes by that something isn't going on with the chamber. Every year.
Every week.
And so when I hear people say, well, why should I join the chamber? I tell them this. I joined September. That was right.
Yeah,
September,
that's right.
Fall. And, I joined because not only did I like what y'all are doing, but also a couple of times I've checked out the space on their website where it has listed all the different professions I was looking for.
The directory.
Yeah, an AC guy and that kind of stuff, just to see what was going on. And, I tell them, look, it's not like you pay the money and then you'll get a Christmas card or maybe some, every now and then get an email. I mean, y'all provide a great deal of opportunity to get your name out. I'm sure you have other chambers that take notes from y'all, so to speak. You'll come and check y'all out and see how you're doing it. That's probably one reason why I could bring this in Alvarado, being asked to speak there.
Yeah.
But it's, I tell them, look, you put it into it a lot, you'll get a lot out of it. It's kind of like my networking group with BNI. If I just sat in the back of the room, well, I might get a few crumbs. But as far as if I really want to make this work, I got to be active in it. And I got to be active here in the chamber. That's why I thought the expo was so good, because I appreciate the opportunities you give us to be active. Yeah.
Well, one thing, we have a staff of 3 as of today. Tomorrow, we're losing Jessica Montemayor. She's moving on to a great opportunity she's going to be working from home, and we're going to miss her so, so much. But,
well, that's hard to turn that down.
Yeah.
But it is.
But, for staff of 3 or 2, we just really, really love what we do.
Yeah, we were talking about you're in the print media before.
I was, yes.
At the Cleveland Times Review. Mm-hmm. You like this kind of job just as well? I know we were talking on Saturday, you really liked your journalism career, but does this satisfy that?
Yes. Well, so I was a news reporter for the Cleveland Times Review for a little bit over 5 years, and I loved it. I loved getting out in the community and meeting people. And I used to say, I'm just the messenger of your story, but when you have a happy story, we're happy. When your story is sad, we're sad. We feel everything that who we're writing about is going through. And so we build these relationships. And my favorite reader, her name is Wilma Reed. She's now 94 years old. She would email me, I really like this about your story, or I think you should write a story about this person. And we would go have lunch about once a month. And
she live in Cleveland?
She does, okay. Yeah. And so I would have such a great relationship with people. And so when COVID happened, the newspaper business is already struggling, but when COVID hit, the first thing businesses did was pull their ads, and, it just demolished a lot of the newspaper. And so I was laid off. I was incredibly sad because I loved my job. But I used the time off that I had to get my master's degree in communications, and then Gabrina hired me for the chamber. And now, with communications background, you can do journalism, photography, social media management, event coordinating. There's a lot of different things that you can do. But what I'm doing now, I love even more.
Well, you get to be with the community, and that's always a good thing. And I saw their table at the expo, picked up a copy, and I really enjoy print media.
Me too.
I get the Dallas paper on Wednesdays and Sundays, and I'm old school, and I talk to my kids in class, and I talk about the newspaper. I might as well be talking about the Victrola or, right. The horse and buggy. And anyway, but I still read my newspaper on Sunday morning before I go to church, y'all. Okay, just making sure. And, drink my coffee. Or whatever, and relax, or maybe I'll read it Sunday afternoon and do the crossword puzzle. I like that,
Yeah, one day it just hit me that one day we might not have print media anymore.
A lot of communities don't.
And I actually cried about it because I have a son who's 16 and, he's in sports, and the newspapers go out and they cover the sports section. And, those are commemorative items.
Oh, yeah.
You keep them and
Mama's had
put them in
scrapbook.
scrapbooks or up on the refrigerator, and you keep those for years and years, give them to your kids and stuff. And those are keepsakes that, these children might not have anymore.
Well,
so that hit me so hard. It got me emotional.
I tell you what, the teachers missed when the Burleson Star went out was the arrest reports.
Oh yeah.
We got it in the library copy room. Let's see, put it out there. Oh, I could see that one coming. Oh, I'm really surprised. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I missed the Burleson Star because they did a lot of stuff for the school. Several times they had articles about student council related stuff that I was a sponsor of at the time, and so they were very, very helpful to get the word out to the community. And in part, among other reasons, it was the whole genesis of this Mr. Allard's neighborhood is because I want to kind of, in some degree, occupy that space of local information.
Yeah.
Among other reasons, but that was one of them.
That's so great for the community to have. But Cleburne Times Review, it says Cleburne in their name, but they cover all of Johnson County. So Burleson can still get in the newspaper. And actually, when I do still write stories about our members, and I'll send it to the newspaper, and they'll print it for us. Whenever we have ribbon cuttings, I send the photos to the newspaper, and so we kind of get them to be able to have those keepsakes.
I'd like to have them here as a guest. I'd like to talk to them about the newspaper business and how they're managing to keep afloat. I mean, because back in the day when he moved here, we had Burleson Star, we had the Crowley Star, have El Rado Star. They were all kind of jointly owned, right? But now
Joshua Star,
and now you get the Dallas paper. It used to be the size of a fire log. Now it's very much slimmer and whatnot because everybody's gone to digital, and it is what it is. It's not like we could turn the clock back. But I think what's interesting is a lot of younger people they hear us talk about it, and they kind of miss having simpler kind of means of doing things. Vinyl records instead of just downloads. And I was trying to explain to them
CDs. My car doesn't even have.
Mine either.
Cars don't come with those anymore.
I was trying to explain to my kids one time about a rotary phone. They had no idea. And they said they watch the old movies or something. Also, one time we were talking about old music, and I have all these 45s, and I said to them, "Well, if we're going to do this, I'll bring I'll bring my 45s to school." And they're like, "Why are you bringing your guns to school?" Like, oh, geez, they're so unlearned. You see a newspaper making a comeback of any kind. I mean, Tiffany will tell you from Local Life that she gets a lot of really good response because it's in printed form. Now, they have locallifetx.com. They have a website for this, so you can access it on your phone just as easily. But a lot of people prefer holding it in their hand and looking it over. And I think that might someday become more of a thing. Or maybe I'm just hoping.
Well, I think today's generation, they want their news for free. And so that was an issue, that I saw when I was still working with the newspaper. We would post our stories on our Facebook page, and then there would be a paywall. You have to pay to, you'd get like a couple free reads per month, and then you'd have to pay after that. And, they're like, why do I need to pay to read the news? But, you have to have journalists to go
make a living,
investigate these for you. They have a rapport with the police stations, fire stations, city council, government, everyone. And so they do all the work for you. And so they have to get paid. But I don't know,
well, I think one thing that the newspapers really brought to the community was since it would seem like if you were subscribing to the Burleson paper, the Cleveland paper, you were more contacted or connected to the community in some ways, because you saw the football game scores, you saw the FFA, you saw what was going on with the chamber, all this other stuff. Now, you have to kind of actively seek it, and some people,
That's right.
They don't really have the time or the energy or the inclination to do that. And so I think one of the things the chamber does really well is bring a sense of connection to the community. I mean, these people, when I was going through the expo, a lot of them knew each other
Yeah.
from other chamber events. And so I thought, this is really great. This is what we're trying to do. That's like the farmers market starting up in about 6 weeks. And
I saw that. Yeah.
And I've had Chaz Forster on a couple of times. I'm going to get him on again, whether he likes it or not. And he, that's real community. Also, you have, not just networking groups all over town like mine. There's a couple others like that, but you have, I just think we have a lot of really strong civic groups and nonprofit groups.
Yeah.
I sit here and I get to talk to all of y'all from this high altitude, you might say, and I see all the things that are going on in the community, and it's
and then plugging everyone together.
Impressive how many people work for the common good, so to speak.
Yeah. I will tell you, when I moved to Burleson in 2010, so I was in the military when I was younger, and met my husband. I was from Maryland. He was from here. So we decided to move to Texas, but I didn't know anybody. I had no family here and no friends, and I felt really lonely, being in the newspaper and especially in the Chamber of Commerce. I feel like everyone is my best friend now. Like everyone in Burleson is just so friendly, and we work together. It's community over competition. And so,
it's interesting. We've gone through some rough patches as a town, particularly over electoral issues and stuff like that. But by far, the majority of interactions people have with each other in Burleson are good interactions, pleasant interactions.
I agree.
By far, and I see how close all these groups are. About September, 6 months ago, whatever, I had on Giving Day, I had several of the nonprofits on one show, and they all know each other, and they all root for each other, and they all direct people to each other if they know what we do isn't exactly in our wheelhouse, but you need to go over to this group, and they all support each other, and there is zero feeling of competition between them.
Yeah.
And as far as business, I know some people in business that it's almost like they want to see competition in this town. I know it sounds crazy, but like I was talking with Otto, and I was talking to Old South at your expo about Otto. They know each other well. They root for each other. They recommend each other, and it's like
your business actually does better when you have competition.
Yes, it does. And I thought, well, that's really great. None of this, our food's better than his or any of that garbage at all. It was like, we really respect and admire Otto. And I know he said the same thing about the Old South management.
Rex.
Yeah, Rex. Yeah. I was thinking that was his name. But I just thought, that's the kind of community you want to live in, is where people say, well, if I can't help you, I could send you somewhere else.
Yeah.
Or, they don't see going to business A is necessarily a slight for business B. It's really nice. And as we've grown, I hope we can maintain that small town feeling kind of thing, that hometown feeling.
Yeah.
And that's not easy to do sometimes. As we get bigger, we get a lot of people outside the community that don't have connections to Burleson, like I was 30-something years ago. And I hadn't even heard of Burleson until 1988 when the junior high called to talk about an interview. I thought Burleson, when they said Burleson Junior High, I thought it was some school in Fort Worth or Denton or something like that. And we came down here. I lived in Arlington with my newly married wife. And when I got that high school job I mentioned earlier in the show, I said, well, I'm going to make my home here now because I want to live in the community I teach in. And I've lived here over half of my life now.
I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, honestly. When we moved to Texas, I had only visited here once before for a week, and it was Burleson. And like I said, my husband and I were both in the military, and we had to decide where we were going to move when our enlistments were over. And it was no question. I said, I loved Burleson. I loved everything about it. Just in that 1 week I visited. And we've been here since 2010. And we wanted to raise our son here. We wanted him to go to school here.
So he goes to one of the high schools?
Yeah, he goes to Burleson High School.
Oh, that's the one. That's the one I'm still partial to it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that again, come back into the chamber. I think the chamber's reflected that because it's grown quite a bit under y'all's leadership. I have to really compliment
Thank you.
Because it really has exploded. I mean, you started reading off those names. I'm like, well, I'm going to go get some coffee while she's, going through the list, or something, because I got time apparently. But I know that the membership numbers, Sabrina's told me, has gone up quite a bit in the last 8 months, and that has to be the service and the effort y'all are putting into it.
Well, I don't have the official number right now, but I know we just recently have over 500 members.
Okay. And see, that's probably an all-time high, I would have bet.
Yeah.
And it's not just due to growth in the community, but just the chamber.
I think everyone wants to be a part of.
Well, they want to be a part of the community. They don't want, people in business want, there's a social aspect to that as well. They want to make money, sure, and they want to be successful in their businesses, but they also want to be social. I think in some ways when the social media is almost kind of an oxymoron because it has basically splintered a lot of these events or communities or whatever, because they're all in their homes on their computers or their faces in the phone or whatever. Yeah. And so I'm glad that y'all do these kind of things.
Yeah. The attendance is going up. We're selling out at events.
Well, we're getting close to the end, so I'm going to let you have the last word. You need to tell us a little spiel, if you want, about the chamber and at the upcoming events.
Okay. Just really quick, the women's luncheon, like I said, we're going to have Karen Johnson speak. Registration, you can go on our website for that. We're going to have lunch by Torchy's. Texas Title is the title partner for that event. Sierra Bank is our affiliate, and HEB is our corporate partner. April 14th, we're having our Wild West Gala. That is going to be such a fun time. We're giving away 3 awards: the Athena Award, the Citizen of the Year, and the Marzi Barty Volunteer of the Award.
What day is this now?
April 14th.
Well, send me some advertising logos.
Yeah,
we'll throw on the screen.
Okay. That's going to be at Modiana Ranch, which is out in Burleson. Andrew Dolan is going to perform.
Well, he's everywhere. Isn't he?
I know, yeah.
He's at that Athena Society thing as well.
We are going to have a stick horse derby race. And if you sponsor a horse for $250, you're going to get 2 tickets to the event, and then you're going to be able to participate in the derby.
Okay.
And so come out in your Wild West gear, dress up, and then do the stick horse derby. The winner of each race gets $100, and the winner of the championship race gets $250. We want to thank Texas Health Hughley Hospital for being the title partner of this event. You can get your tickets on the chamber website, which is www.burlesonchamber.com.
One more time.
www.burlesonchamber.com.
Well, seriously, send me some stuff and we'll throw it in. We're going to get a bunch of that in the spring. There's a lot of fundraisers and events and whatnot. ASD has one. I know the Advocacy Center has one. The one that normally came in April, from Next Step, they're going to bump to June. The walkathon, Walk for Life.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But they're going to do it in June because they have something else going on. I mean, so there's a lot going on. So if you're listening out there and you're a nonprofit and you got something going on, send it to us. And Taylor will whip it out there on the screen and it'll be good to go. I appreciate you coming.
Yeah,
do you have anything else I don't want to catch
really
off?
quick.
Sure.
We have the Honey Tour bike ride is coming back May 27th, 7 to 67 mile routes. HEB is our title partner, so we want to thank them for that. We need volunteers. If you need volunteers hours for anything, or even if you don't, we would love to have you come out. You're going to contact Sabrina to volunteer. You can register to ride in the bike ride at www.athletics360.com.
What?
www.athlete360.com. And then our members have some news I'd like to share. The Friends of the Burleson Public Library, they're having a craft fair at the Senior Activity Center March 4th from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. The funds from that are going to go toward the library summer reading program. Crazy 8 Ministries, they're having an open house for their new Connection Center March 6th from starting at 11 a.m. The address is 1100 West FM 917 in Joshua. So that they're open is kind of like an event center. They're opening smaller event center. Burleson Audiology Clinic, they're celebrating their 3rd anniversary. So they're going to have an open house March 9th from 1 to 3 p.m. They're going to have snacks and prizes, and that's at 121 Northwest Ellison Street, Suite 101. Burleson Police Department, they're having an open house March 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's a free family-friendly event. Local Life Magazine, they're having their Old Town Burleson St. Patty's Day pub crawl. Tickets are $30. That's on March 11th. Tickets are $30 if you purchase them online, $35 at the day of the event. But if you go online and use code LUCKY through March 10th, you can get $5 off your ticket. The city is hosting Dogs and Donuts March 11th, 9:30 to 11 a.m. at the Burleson Bark Park. So take your dog out there and get some donuts. And again, the Athena Society of Burleson, they're hosting their 18th annual Mardi Gras Gala. And then Crazy 8 Ministries, they were supposed to have their Ocho Loco 5K race in March, but they are postponing that. I just got an email today. So.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, it's a lot. But again, guys, if y'all heard all that, I'm sure it's all on the chamber.
It's on our chamber under the events section.
Also, if you wanted us to advertise it, we'll advertise it up to the event. No cost, no fuss, no muss. Just we'll throw it up there as a part of the communication with the community, as we like to do. So, boy,
thank you for having me.
You out of breath now?
I love to talk, so you're gonna have to cut me off.
Ding, I'm sure. Get Cabrina's little
Get that
bell.
music up a little bit higher.
Well, I already got Cabrina set up for the first Monday of April. I already set aside that. I already put it in my Thrive calendar there, so I won't mess it up this time. So, but it was great having you, though.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And I'm sure that y'all do great work. I really appreciate what y'all do for this community.
Thank you so much.
And we'll see you on Monday with Bianca Lowry from the Center for ASD. On Tuesday, we'll have the mayor. On Thursday, we have a new candidate that I have yet to meet, but we'll meet on the show. His name is Caleb Mitchell. He's running for place 4, the school board. Okay. Did I say city council? It's school board. All right, I don't want to get very worked up. No, it's Caleb Mitchell. He's running for the school board, place 4. So we'll talk to him next Thursday. All righty, we'll see you then.
Thank you.